Guys, this is your reader, Nathan, and this book is called A Squash and a Squeeze by Julia Donaldson, Axel Scheffler. Now, this book here is probably one of my favourite books. I love this book. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Why not you read it and see how much do you like it? A Squash and a Squeeze, story by Julia Donaldson, illustrated by Axel Scheffler. A little old lady lived all by herself with a table and chairs and a jug on her shelf. A wise old man heard her grumble and grouse. "There's not enough room in my house, wise old man. Won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your hand," says the wise old man. "Take in my hand? What a curious plan." Well, the hen laid an egg on the fireside rug and flapped around the room, knocking over the jug. The little old lady cried, "What shall I do? It was pokey for one and it's tiny for two. My nose has a tickle and there's no room to sneeze. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your goat," says the wise old man. "Take in my goat? What a curious plan." Well, the goat chewed the curtains and trotted on the egg, then sat down to nibble the table leg. The little old lady cried, "Glory be, it was tiny for two and it's titchy for three. The hen pecks the goat and the goat's got fleas. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your pig," says the wise old man. "Take in my pig? What a curious plan." So she took in her pig, who kept chasing the hen and raiding the larder again and again. The little old lady cried, "Stop! I am poor." It was tinchy for three and it's teeny for four. Even the pig in the larder agrees. My house is a squash and a squeeze. And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your cow," said the wise old man. "Take in my cow? What a curious plan." Well, the cow took one look and stared straight at the pig, then jumped on the table and tapped out a jig. The little old lady cried, "Heavens alive! It was teeny for four and it's weeny for five. I'm tearing my hair out. I'm down on my knees. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take them all out," said the wise old man, "but then I'll be back where I first began." So she opened the window and out flew the hen. "That's better at last. I can sneeze again." She shooed out the goat and she shoved out the pig. "My house is beginning to feel pretty big." She huffed and she puffed and she pushed out the cow. "Just look at my house. It's enormous now." "Thank you, old man, for the work you have done. It was weeny for five, it's gigantic for one. There's no need to grumble and there's no need to grouse. There's plenty of room in my house." And now she's full of frolic and fiddly-dees. It isn't a squash and it isn't a squeeze. Yes, she's full of frolic and fiddly-dees. It isn't a squash and a squeeze. The book was called A Squash and a Squeeze by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. Hope you enjoyed this book. And comment down below if you think it was good. 1 out of 10 and the scores. I don't really care. 3, 5, 1. I don't really care, but hope you enjoyed this book. So smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in my next book.